Hi, this is Bill Kenower for Author Magazine, and today I'm speaking with Steve Berry, author of the fast-paced international thriller The Emperor's Tomb. We sat down at Third Place Books in Lake Forest Park and talked about suspense novels, history, and how a writer copes with rejection. Enjoy.
I had a little voice in my head that was telling me to write. Every writer has a little voice in their head, and I had one, and it was nagging at me for about 10 years. During the 80s, all during the 80s, it nagged at me. I started a couple times to write during the 80s a little bit and then quit. Normal thing that people do, you write a little bit and quit, write a little bit and quit. The voice was nagging and nagging and nagging, and then there was a day in summer of 1990 when I said, today's the day. I'm going to actually start to write a novel, and this time I'm not going to quit. And when I started doing it, it hushed, and I felt, okay, this is great. I don't have to listen to it anymore. So I just kept going, and this little voice to this day does that to me every day, right now. There came a point where I kind of decided I wanted to be a published commercial fiction writer. I wanted to do it. I actually wanted to write novels that people would read, enjoy, and want more of. And I didn't start off that way. I just sort of evolved into that probably about 5 years in. And then I said, you know, when they told me I couldn't do it, that just really got to me. I don't like to be told I can't do something.
Who told you that you couldn't do it?
The people reading my stuff, you know, who were my critique group, who was destroying it, editors who were rejecting the 85 manuscripts, the 399 agents that told me no. You know, luckily one told me yes, but they told me no. So there was a lot of people telling me, you can't do this. You can't pull this off. And I don't like to hear that word, you can't do it. That does set me off now. You escape. You can leave the world behind. I was a divorce lawyer. That's what I did. I divorced people. I was a criminal defense lawyer. I saw people at their worst. So thrillers were a way to escape. I mean, that's what I used them for. They were fun. They could get away. I could go off to a strange place and do cool things. And I didn't have to think about all those bad things. And thrillers to this day, that is still their allure. They are an escape. I say all the time, I don't write Faulkner. I'm not going to win the National Book Award. I'm not going to get a Pulitzer Prize. But if you tell me that for a few hours I got to forget my troubles and I got to enjoy myself and I had a fun little ride, my mission is accomplished, and I feel good about that. There's no other way to learn how to write but to write. There's nobody in the world that can teach you how to write. There's nobody in this planet that can teach you how to write. But there are people that can help you teach you how to write. Yes, there are. And I found some of those. I was lucky. I found those. And they helped me teach me how to write. If it took me 12 years, I'd go every Wednesday night, I'd read my chapter out loud, and they would destroy it. I learned through a critical critique process. And I learned the craft. And to this day, I do it. Our History Matters Foundation, I teach that now. I teach a 5-hour writing seminar as a way to raise money for historic preservation. And I condense down those 12 years into 5 hours and give you the highlight of what it is. Hopefully the student will go and learn some more about it to do. Writing is hard. It is an extremely difficult endeavor. It is not impossible, though. It is an acquired skill. It's just like drinking liquor. You're not born liking 100 proof vodka and brandy and beer. Nobody's born loving that. You have to teach yourself to like that stuff. Same with writing. You're not born a writer. It has to be taught, and you teach yourself the craft. So it is a difficult endeavor, but it is not an impossible endeavor. Anybody can do it if they want to. You keep writing every day. You have to write every day. You have to read your genre, and you have to write your genre every day. The best thing would be to find a critique group, an excellent critique group. Get yourself in it and go to it. You have to learn critically. If you want to know how great it is, ask your husband, your brother, your wife, your sister. They'll tell you how great it is. If you want to know honestly what it's like, ask other people going through the same misery you're going through, who are going to be honest with you because they want you to be honest with them when the time comes. And that's what a critique group is, if you can find the right mix. I was very lucky. I found a good mix. About 75% of what you hear in a critique group is pure garbage, and you want to purge it from your brain. 25% is absolute gold. How do you tell the difference? Time. Time will teach you the difference. As you go every night, I was about 3 years in that I began to be able to see what works for me and what doesn't work for me, and go in. And I'm reading my genre and I'm studying it. There's only one way to learn how to write. You have to write. And I tell this all the time. Writing is a discipline. You must set your own discipline and do it. It is not an obsession. It's a discipline. Find your discipline, set yourself down, and write every day. If you do that religiously and you study your genre and you work on it, you will eventually begin to acquire the craft. And that's what happens.